Number 23 has withdrawn, so it's video link Alex Sobel.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. 2.25 years ago, I attended the Armed Forces Covenant debate in the House and spoke about service family accommodation. There were many warm words said then about the standard of our armed forces, the bravery that they show on a daily basis, and the need for us as lawmakers to value them. However, there was very little of legal substance. I'm pleased that we now have the opportunity to speak on a bill that would finally give the Armed Forces Covenant a firm base in law. But like many of my colleagues, I have deep concerns to the weight of this legislation. As others have said, the phrase "to give due regard to the principles of the Covenant" is too vague, does not provide any real legal recourse to the families living in service family accommodation. We need measurable national standards set at a higher level than the existing voluntary commitments. In my speech in the Covenant debate 2 years ago, I highlighted deep structural problems caused by the decision in 1996 to sell off 55,000 service family homes on a 990-year lease to Annington Homes. This not only left a black hole in the MOD finance, but caused a huge selling off of housing stock to the private sector, as well as desperate local authorities who are under pressure to acquire low-cost social housing to tackle their ever-increasing waiting lists. These issues prevail, but today I want to highlight the human impact of the low standards that are common amongst our accommodation, particularly in respect to cheap outsourcing to Amy, formerly Carillion Amy. In preparation for this debate, my office contacted and spoke with many service families. It's beyond vital that we hear these voices. Our service families have made huge sacrifices and commitment to our country. Military children are vulnerable to inequality in health, education and well-being due to the fact they move around so frequently. The family unit is vulnerable to stresses that most of us are not. Most of us do not have to worry about one parent being absent for weeks or months, or sacrifice our own career because of the transient nature of our partners. The least that we can do is provide decent, dependable, adequate housing with few faults to these families. And when problems do occur, we owe it to them to ensure they're dealt with promptly and properly. We spoke with Rushmore Borough Councillor Nadia Martin, herself living in an SFA. She's been working for years to highlight these problems and has herself experienced huge problems with Amy, including the poor quality repair causing injury to her child. She produced a report from a survey she undertook with military families living in SFAs. I'm grateful to her for sharing that with me. 66% of respondents said that the SFA was not in fully working order upon marching. 69% said the faults had to be reported at least every quarter. 60% of the contractors do not always turn up. And an astonishing 68% reported they have to call Amy back to redo the same job they've already done. This not only reflects the national picture, where 3 in 10 said they were satisfied with the work done, but countless stories. And I'll only be able to have a couple of these for the time remaining. Catherine, whose husband has been in the Royal Navy for 12 years, said it's very frustrating. Been told a number of times, well, it's cheap housing. You should be grateful that you have somewhere to live. It's not meant to be a luxury. We don't expect luxury. However, I would love to come home from frontline work myself and be able to enjoy my bathroom or have a shower without wondering if the boiler works. I'd like to be able to go into my house when it rains and not have to overcome an indoor water feature. We should be entitled the same as everyone else. Another SFA resident, Emma, was scathing. She said, we're treated like the lowest of the low, like absolute idiots. Made to wait an unreasonable time for fixes, told to live in housing. I wouldn't put my dog in, let alone a family. In short, there is a national problem with service family accommodation. If I had more time, I could read many, many more stories, and I would be happy to share these testimonies with the Minister. These families are losing faith with the government, with all of us in this House, to help them and improve their situation. They are seeing their neighbouring houses sold off to the private sector and their communities being lost. They feel as though they're being forced out of SFAs into the private sector with all the noted problems that brings. They are seeing their already complicated lives made harder. So isn't it time for us to end the scandal of poor service family accommodation and build and repair and maintain decent service family housing? Thank you.
Thank you.